Hey guys, it's Graham here again. This time, Nova Scotia, Halifax. We're at the Hart Thistle, checking out what Greg Nash is brewing. So let's head inside and check it out, eh?
My name is Greg Nash. I started brewing probably when I was around 14. Gave that up after about a year and a half stint. There was some bad stuff going on there, between myself, my parents, and my exploding beer bottles underneath my bed, and so on and so forth. Dropped that for a few years, and I got back into it probably in my early 20s, and I was having some fun with it, brewing a few more batches of beer. Back at the homebrew store, I was like, I didn't really like that kind, it was tasting a little cidery, and so basically it was a down home kind of the can off the shelf, the big bag of sugar, dump it all in the bucket, mix it together, and pitch some yeast. And it was pretty awful stuff. After 3 or 4 batches, I kind of, I kept dodging the guys at the homebrew store about, but how do I make good beer? And they were like, well, you can try this other kind, this other brand, and they didn't have any books or anything. So I went to a bookstore, and they actually did. And I guess the science of it, between that, the art and the taste, and I was really looking for good beer. I was just kind of, I think, starting to develop my palate in the sense that I could appreciate the flavors, and I just really, so I homebrewed for a long time before I started taking it really seriously. But I was kind of like a crackhead on beer books. I just needed more information. So I ordered every beer book that I could find, and basically inhaled them. So I started brewing. I just kind of got the bug through homebrewing, and I ended up doing some work on installation of brewing systems and brew pubs and microbreweries in the States in 1994 and 95. I really got the bug then, hanging out after the brewing system was all, up and running, and brewing with some different brewmasters down there, and I just, I thought to myself, this is a great ticket, this is what I really want to do, and, put some food in a glass for people, and so I enrolled into the American Brewers Guild, and that was it. My style, I'm probably from a very young age, whether it was, when I was 14, 15 years old, running motocross, racing snowmobiles, the whole 9 yards, I was just kind of, sort of always had the no fear attitude, and so I think a lot of it maybe stems from that sort of thing. I've always been the same way with cooking and brewing. Something I haven't tried before, I'm just gonna do it anyway. I just, it's just no fear. I don't care. It's if it's no good, I'll put it down in the fucking drain and make another batch. That's what I'll do here. I should say. If I was in a real brewery, a large brewery, is what I mean by that. Let me start that sentence again. If I was in a larger brewery with more tanks, it's really easy to have no fear, because if you screw a batch up and it's not what you want, you could just kind of brew another batch, the antichrist of it, and then blend the two. And that's really an easy way out, and a great way to feel secure about experimenting. So I was always that guy that just kind of, I just never really thought twice about trying something new or throwing in some unusual ingredients. I'm a Nova Scotia boy, bred and raised here, and so Halifax is kind of, the mecca for me, I guess, of all things Nova Scotia. And when I went to brewing school, when I worked abroad, in the USA, and then went to brewing school, that was in California, Davis, California. My first job in a brewing school was a few weeks after I graduated, like 3 weeks or a month maybe after I graduated. It was in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And, I put in a lot of time in a lot of breweries and other areas in the States as well. And I just always wanted to get back into Canada. And then when I did get back into Canada, I just always wanted to get back to the Maritimes. And I guess it was more of a lifestyle sort of thing, maritime mentality. I don't know what it is, but I just always felt that I, missed it here and wanted to get back. So I did, obviously it was a bit of a long road to get here. But life out west, Canadian West? No. I called the president of the brewing school, the alumni website, and so on. There's like job boards and stuff, and so the brewing school gets a lot of calls from employers, looking for brewers. And so I called the president and I asked him that basically the first job inquiry that you get from Canada, please give me a call. It's like I got to get back into Canada. It was no more than a couple of weeks went by, and he called me up and he said, I just had a phone call from these guys in Winnipeg looking for a brewmaster. And so yeah, that was it. Off to Winnipeg, but that didn't cut it for me. Really, when it comes down to it, nobody wants to see a brew pub or a microbrewery be unsuccessful, or to see them maybe making bad product. Thus the reason they're unsuccessful. But if any brewery out there makes bad product, it affects us all in a negative way. And it's kind of like back in the day, I'm going to say like 10 years ago, a famous brewer out of Denver, Colorado was interviewed, and he was asked, he said, you were the first brew pub in Denver, and how was business then compared to today, when there's whatever it was, a dozen or 16 or whatever brew pubs here now? And he said, it's so much better now than it was then, and it's all about general education of the public. So the better everyone's beer is, the better everyone's business is going to be. And we really don't need someone going out and spreading the word around that they had craft beer and it really sucked. You never want that. Again, naming names. It's I don't really care about that stuff. It's like, again, the no fear thing comes in, but there's why name names. I mean, big breweries are big breweries. They're kind of out there trying to fill a different market segment than I am. They have their place. They're no competition to me. So it just really doesn't matter. It does. I mean, when it comes right down to it, I'll tell you what. You see the big breweries coming out with red ales and seasonal beers and white beers and that sort of thing. They're just trying to copycat me. You know what I mean? They're trying to make craft beer. They're making what's commonly known, I guess, as a macro craft beer. But they're opening consumers' eyes and they're helping us little guys. Okay, when I started brewing professionally in, I'm going to say 1994, when I started doing installations and working with some other professional brewers and that sort of thing, it was kind of talked about a lot, roundtable sessions and that sort of thing. And then when I went to brewing school, 95, 96, that, just focus on your target market. And the target market was 28, 30-year-old up to, 48, 50-year-olds. And, these people were going to be a little more well-traveled. They would have been exposed to some real beer, possibly, European or whatever the case may be. Just people that were a little more well-to-do, so to speak. It was kind of more like our target market. And, that was true for the most part. And now it's really changed dramatically. And, I see so many 20-year-olds just, ranting and raving about, oh my God, and, standing in line waiting for that specific beer to come out. And, I'm fairly frequent, yes, I'm really frequent. I frequent a lot of websites, I'm online a lot, and I hang out in beeradvocate.com and a little bit on ratebeer.com and those sort of places, and you just see in the forums, I mean, the home brewing sections and that sort of thing, they're I'm not going to say dominated by the younger guys, 20, 22, 24 years old, but they're probably stepping up and taking over. And it's great to see. It's fabulous.